Hello, I'm Grace Gill and welcome to round 6 and 7 of the Liberty A-League Highlights Show. Due to the heatwave sweeping parts of the country, there's only 4 games for you this week, and they kicked off in the capital as Canberra United hosted high-flying Melbourne City. Your commentators are Ben Homer and Leah Blaney.
Well, she's been on the outer with the national team, so what a way to put your name up in lights, as here she is on cue. Getting a touch. Ghirardello says get up, no free kick. Pollicina has the shot blocked by Ilioski. She's had a good start to this match, Pollicina, but so too is Ilioski, and it's a corner on the way for the visitors.
Again, and just notice the defensive structure of the City team. They've got numbers behind the ball.
Milivojevic trying to slip it in behind, but Heyman wasn't on the same page. Well, neither were the Melbourne City defence, and Michelle Heyman couldn't get the shot on target. If she could, Canberra United could have had a 1-0 lead, and Niagos Popovic knows how close it was. Wow, Bowen certainly wasn't in communication there with Sally James. She didn't know she was going to do the old fake. Can she get on the end of this? Heyman can, James with the save. Clearance is a good one. There's appeals for handball, and it was friendly fire, I believe. We'll have a look at that in a second. But Laura Hughes is looking to take on 3 City players and earns a free kick. As we see this corner, it was chaos in the box. Canberra really scrapping to get the ball clear at the moment. Pollicina, what a strike from the captain! She redeems herself from last week and scores the first goal for City. And it was a beautiful first-time shot that caught out Keely Richards. And Canberra, well, they're having a meeting. So too are Melbourne City after this goal was conceded.
And that's a fantastic ball by centre-back Naomi Chinamay. In terms of central defenders who are able to break lines, it's a really effective pass that puts Pollicina in a really good position. We know that she's technically excellent. It's a fantastic finish as well.
And we have seen it work. Balls over the top for Canberra already in this game. And in behind, Jale goes over the top of Grosso. Massive chance for Heyman. Should have scored. Michelle Heyman should have made it 1-1, and she cannot believe it. Grace Jale, that was outstanding strength to leave Grosso in her wake, and then Heyman couldn't quite finish the deal. Pollicina looking first time again. Keely Richards, great save. Pushing it up and over the bar, as the captain was chasing a second in this first half. Rojas outside of the boot. Pollicina! Well, it was an inadvertent assist, but the captain has a double. And that was incredible from Briley Henry. And Melbourne City lead it by 2-0. And there's an injury concern here for Canberra. So a lot happening in a short period of time, and it looks to be Grace Maher, and Henry slipped over, and it just sat there for Pollicina. It was like a chance on the first tee to just have a swing, and she drove it into the back of the net. Brush, funny Flannery. Good touch from Heyman, onto Brush. Sally James retreating, so it allows Grace Jale to track it down. Milivojevic into the grasp of Sally James, who has looked so comfortable today, the Canberra product. Have we got a back 5 alert here for Melbourne City, Leah, or still playing the back 4? We'll come back to that as Grove thrown to the ground, out of possession by Blissett. Garlich, Rojas, she gets the goal. She deserves that, the Chilean international. She has been superb this afternoon in Queanbeyan, and she gets one against her old side. And Melbourne City are dazzling here.
They certainly are, and that's a great run into the box by Blissett. Good decision to cut the ball back. Again, you see City have numbers around the ball. They're a team that like to combine. Daniela Galich is in a really good position where she's facing forward, one touch, well-weighted pass into the path of Rojas, and it's a beautifully well-worked goal by City. It's a Melbourne City goal.
Tackles flying in everywhere, that time from Laura Hughes. Milivojevic delivering, Heyman with a chance. Heyman just pushes it wide. Well, that would have been the moment for Canberra just to provide some energy and some hope around a late fight back, but another chance goes begging for their star striker. Ekic feeding it. What a strike that is! That's an incredible goal from Daniela Galich. What a way to open your account in the Liberty A-League. The 16-year-old with a stunner. And Leah Blaney can't talk. She loves that one so much.
It was another dominant win from Dario Vidosic's side. Kicking off at the same time on Friday evening was two teams who haven't had the best start, Newcastle Jets and Brisbane Roar. Both sides are desperate for a win to give their fans some Christmas cheer. Calling the game is Teo Palizzeri.
Spins and feeds it to Gorry. This is again shooting range for Gorry. And she will accept the invitation to shoot! And Katrina Gorry scores! It proved to be an irresistible invitation for Katrina Gorry, and Newcastle are punished to full effect by the Matildas superstar. As we take another look here at the attempt, Lucy Johnson went sliding out of the way. Katrina Gorry beautifully inside the corner, absolutely nothing that Georgina Worth could do about it, and I'm almost certain that that goal-scoring tribute running over to the sideline to grab the shirt was for Mariel Ecker, who went down with injury last week and is out for the rest of the season. But that strike is pure. So here's the resulting free kick, a bit further out than the last one. Still a good strike. Could cause trouble. It's being shown plenty of respect by a four-player wall. Agnew slides it through the right side. Griffith legged. Penalty shout not given. Isabella Libri had a good view there through a sea of legs. And the Newcastle Jets players perhaps right to ask why. Here's Griffith on the ball, trying to make something happen again. The cross over the right side of the area. Lauren Allen outside the box. Johnson with a long shot. It was a promising height, just wasn't on the target. And that's some signs of life in front of goal from the Newcastle Jets. And Lucy Johnson, who's never scored in this league. Gorry, an errant touch, and the door slightly ajar for Griffith. Here's the follow-up, and the shot is into the gloves of Hensley Handcuff. Such a tall, imposing figure. Made that look rather comfortable in the end. Davis. Newcastle stringing some passes together in advanced areas. Griffith, left-footed strike comes, and it's just over the bar. And that was much better from the Jets. One of the few times in this game that they've actually been connecting passes in their attacking third, and it instantly leads to a shot. Not on target, but just over from Sarah Griffith, and that's Brisbane on notice now. Ball falls in the box. Gorry, dangerous. Katrina Gorry got the angle spot on. There is one unstoppable force in this game, and her name is Katrina Gorry. Here's another look. Gorry, an unchecked run, able to take a touch. Taryn King went in with a slight challenge, couldn't impact the ball or the player, and Gorry on an acute angle nestled it in the corner. Ball breaks into the middle though. Maybe this is Newcastle's chance. Allen, Johnson slides it low. Griffith with it all to do at the top of the box. And now the follow-up shot comes in. Good save by Handcuff. And Rashard is first to respond, putting it behind for a corner. And that was Lauren Allen asking a big question of Hensley Handcuff. No one able to actually fire an effective shot. Crummer, and this could be Tamar Levin's big moment here. It's the youngster Levin, and a good save. Follow up, Gorry clattered. Advantage given. The ball is still live at the feet of Crummer. Gorry trying for a hat-trick. Players falling out of the way. It's all a bit chaotic. Palmer against Johnson, still Holly Palmer. And now Levin again. Gorry's in an offside position, and that shot is bending wide. You got to give credit to Worth for the save, though, because it was Tamar Levin. As we take another look at this chance here for Levin, it was a well-hit left-footed shot. Worth, in no man's land, it's safe to say, was able to get down and make the save. I think Gorry, I'm not sure advantage suited Brisbane there. Norrie didn't control it with any real conviction. And now charging through. Here's Davis. Oh, just wide of the top right. Cass Davis has come with a mission today. I think she's sick of not having a goal to her name in this competition. Let's see what they can do. Here's the shot, and handcuff parries out for a corner. Might have been in two minds about a catch or the parry there, Hensley handcuff, but all's well that ends well. Kept it out of the back of the net. That was the most important thing. And still, the clock continues to run here. The referee making the players do a bit of overtime at the end of the game. Griffith swings it to the far post. And what a chance for Konyaski, but there was no power behind the touch. And Hensley handcuff had one last shot on target to save. And the clean sheet was maintained right up until the very last second. And Konyaski, well, it was off the thigh rather than the boot. Gratefully grasped onto, and that is what Brisbane Roar have done to the 3 points as well. All over in Newcastle, and it's the Roar that prevail. Newcastle Jets 0, Brisbane Roar 2.
It was Katrina Gorry making all the difference once again for the Roar. Join us after the break as we conclude the highlights from the Liberty A-League. Welcome back to the Liberty A-League Highlights Show. A beautiful day on Christmas Eve for the Sydney Derby at Allianz Stadium. Sydney FC ran out 1-0 winners last time in a fiery contest and are clear favourites as Western Sydney Wanderers are still searching for the first win. Your commentators are Teo Palazzeri and Grace Gill.
Here's Vine crossing, Mrs. Seamson with the ball. There were Sydney FC players queuing up in the penalty area. Abini goes and retrieves and now shoots from distance, and it requires a good save. Jordan Bloomer tips it over the bar. Abini was given an acre of space, and that shot dipped late. Jordan Bloomer, who made some spectacular saves at Marconi as well. Sydney FC had dominated the first half without scoring, only to jag a goal late. Here's a corner routine for McLean, who's never scored in the A-League Women's, and is the width of the crossbar away from finding the back of the net. And we're not even 5 minutes in, and Sydney FC are peppering. A flat delivery, and even though Remy Simpson got up for the header, is this a penalty? That's a bit of a phantom call here from Rebecca Durkow. Well, confusion reigns. Wanderers are angry. Let's look at how it happened here. Your guess is absolutely as good as mine. It's, I guess, the first game in a new stadium. Maybe a bit of home cooking. Rubber the green. Here's the penalty then. It's Hawkesby. And it's 1-0 to Sydney FC. Clinically dispatched. And even though confusion reigns about exactly why Sydney FC went to the penalty spot, the result is a 1-0 lead. Hawkesby just boots for distance and tries to exploit the pace of Courtney Vine. This is the Courtney Vine we know. Jags in, defenders get goal side. What a finish! Courtney Vine, the Matildas star, with every bit of the quality we know that she's capable of. And even though the wait for her first goal of the season took until Game 5, it has arrived in style. And they will feel as though 2-0 is just rewards for the number of chances they've created. And now they are running downhill. Courtney Vine on the march. Here's Remy Simpson. Princess Abini's in the middle. Simpson looks up, goes her own way, and draws a very good save out of Bloomer. And they look like they're going to score every time they attack now, the Sky Blues. And now the Sydney FC defence is back in position. Caspers, Harrison, it's a neat pass. Gallagher on the left, good save Wyman. That was the chance for Western Sydney. And Sheridan Gallagher, a clever run there, very nearly leading to a goal back. They really need a goal to take into the sheds. It could totally transform both the mentality of the team and the state of the game. Sydney FC, if they were to score a third, it might be put down your glasses. Here's Kirsty Fenton into the area. Can she go all the way? Fenton hits the woodwork. And again, turned onto the right side at the last. And Kirsty Fenton, after running half the field, nearly so close to a third Sydney FC goal. I can tell you, in this second half, though. They've had 65% of the ball. A shallow back pass, almost a chance. Wanderers trying to get the door open. Was it a foul by Wyman? No. The referee waves it away for the challenge on Harrison. And Amy Harrison is down and sore. And that was nearly Wanderers' moment. Well, we had a phantom penalty at one end. We've had a big penalty shout here in the second half. That looks like feet first onto the shin to me. And now Malia Steinmetz for Wanderers. Price on the spin. Kush LaRue! Kush LaRue off the post! So close. And this young sub who has had to wait until round 5 to get into the action was the width of a post away from the perfect introduction.
Well, wouldn't that have been the introduction? The touch from Liv Price. Beautiful build-up play from the Wanderers, and Kush LaRue. She will be ruining that chance.
The last Sydney derby was decided by one late goal. This one has had Sydney FC with the upper hand for much of the game. And a third goal would make them feel a lot more secure if Lou can finish. And did not get over the volley. Christodoulou misses the ball. That could open the door for Courtney Vine to break away. There's only one defender back. Can Sydney manage it? It's a 3-on-1 if they're quick enough. Matos. Now Rachel Lowe to put a bow on it. Saved by Karmas. Huge one-on-one stop.
What a run from Courtney Vine. That ball through to Rachel Lowe was exquisite. The weight behind that, the timing of that. She had the numbers. An unfortunate miss there from Christodoulou, but Courtney Vine with such a great driving run. She's held this up really nicely, and just this delivery here was divine. All Rachel Lowe needs to do there is pick either side of Karmas, but once more, Karmas has stood up in a really promising way for the Wanderers.
And there's the full-time whistle. It is another derby success for Sydney FC. Sydney FC 2, Western Sydney Wanderers 0.
One game from round 7 next from Amy Park. Perth Glory will want to build on their first win of the season last week, and they travel to Melbourne to take on Melbourne City. Your callers are Teo Palazzeri and Leah Blaney.
And Amina Ekic will strike the first corner kick. City looking for the perfect start here at Amy Park. Let's see what the delivery is like. Ekic right on the money early, and it's volleyed away. The referee has seen a foul. Kim Carroll was pushed. Combination of Chelsea Blissett and Naomi Chinnamer at the back post trying to get a goal-bound touch. It ended up going out. Galich and Davidson linking up neatly, and then Wilkinson broke away. Anton held her ground and is able to make the intercept. And then the ball is presented by Hinson straight to Blissett, so City stay on the attack. Here's Ekic, jagging to the left, the cutback's on, Wilkinson's there, and it goes just wide at the near post. And after 7.5 minutes, that was nearly. Welcome back, Hannah Wilkinson. Chelsea Blissett waits for the pass, and now on the instep, picked out McKenna very smoothly, and this is Letitia McKenna advancing into open space, decides to cut central. There's no one there except the net. McKenna with a solo run, and it's saved by Langman at the near post. Best chance of the game so far, and Letitia McKenna was allowed to roam forward and very nearly made it work.
She certainly was, and she does such a good job at picking up the ball between the lines there. She runs with good positive intent, a little bit isolated. As you see, that touch takes her away from the goal, so she's probably got to show a little bit more patience there and recycle, but fantastic effort by McKenna.
Kane able to get a boot in. Now Fonson-Cam helps out, but just short on ideas for who to pass to, and so Blissett nicked the ball away. Ekic is going to take on Rigby here, and Rigby with the sleeves rolled all the way up. AFL style there, showing off the shoulder. He's going to knock it back to the goalkeeper because it's harmlessly out. We mentioned that one-on-one duel earlier in the game. Mastro Antonio still following Galich everywhere.
And that's fantastic for the youngster. What an experience to be playing up against Mastro Antonio, being marked this way.
Through ball from Fonson-Cam. Hinson, the flag stays down. This is the moment for Perth. What a great interjecting challenge from Naomi Chinnamer. The goalkeeper was out of the equation, but Sierra Hinson did not pull the trigger. And so City will have to be good here if they want to make the most of these last 20 seconds. Otherwise, they'll go in on a stalemate. Davidson loses the attention of the pressing attackers and then plays it straight to Kim Carroll. And Mastrantonio can't take the ball with her, and it's met with the halftime whistle. So, an interesting game, bit of a slow burn that's starting to come to life, especially if you're a Perth Glory fan, because even though Letitia McKenna had a very good shot saved during the half, Melbourne City were not able to break through. It's Melbourne City 0, Perth Glory 0. Long ball from Grosso up to Wilkinson, slides it inside. Policina combining once again with Wilkinson, shuffles it out to the right. Galich turns inside. We know that left foot can be dangerous. Here's Policina. Oh, clever flick. Here's McKenna, and hits the stanchion rather than the back of the net. A glorious opportunity, and that really should have been 1-0 to Melbourne City. Now Policina trying to get away from Mastrantonio, and does. Great close control. Slides it to Galich. They're lining up here. Torpy cleared off the line. Mastrantonio comes up with a vital stop. So often there, I mean, that's come off the shin. You'd be forgiven for shanking that into your own net, and instead she's able to make clean contact at an awkward height to get the ball away. Torpy looks to lift the ball, and it's, batted into the post. Langman almost with a brain explosion there. It looked like it was a catchable ball, but in the end she went for a punch. Cutting back, Wilkinson, Torpy, Policina, first touch promising, body check, penalty. And Rihanna Policina's injection into the game has been a bit of a difference maker, and now, once again, it leads Melbourne City to the penalty spot. Amina Rekic trying to score for the 4th time this A-League women's season, and on the hour mark, separate the two teams. Here's the penalty, and it's into the corner. Clinically dispatched, and Melbourne City, perhaps their penalty woes are behind them as they take a 1-0 lead.
And that's a really well-struck penalty by Ekic. You can tell in the lead-up her composure, the maturity in which she's approached the ball, and she's just placed it in that bottom left-hand corner. Very hard for Langman to get to.
Well, Perth will feel as though that's rough justice. Melbourne City will feel as though the quality of chances they've created merit this goal. Amina Rekic, 4th strike of the season. And could be called into the action straight away here. Hinson nodding it on, and Koulizakis puts it over. And Demi Koulizakis, who has not scored in the A-League Women's since her debut, puts that chance over the bar. What an opportunity that was for the Perth Glory equaliser. Slipping away from the Glory here. Alex Epakis checks his watch, but it's just about time up here. And Melbourne City have held on for 3 hard-fought points. Perth Glory made them earn it. And on a night when Amina Ekic scored the only goal and then left the game injured, a penalty is the difference between the teams. The contentiousness of which no doubt will continue to be debated. Rihanna Policina was the player that won it. Amina Rekic was the player that put it in the back of the net. Handshakes at full time. Melbourne City maintain their standing at the top of the Liberty A-League with a full-time score of Melbourne City 1, Perth Glory 0.
Here's a look at what these results do to the Liberty A-League table. Melbourne City, Sydney FC and Western United find themselves perched towards the top of the table, with Western Sydney Wanderers and Wellington Phoenix in the bottom 2. That's all we've got time for in 2022. We'll see you back here early next year.